Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the first episode of my new sports show here on the series. It's pretty hot in the room I have right now in my recording studio, but here we go on the first episode. I spent about like $44 on this thing just for two pieces of equipment, a mic and a tripod, hold up the camera, but it's really good. So you probably hear me pretty good right now. You had to turn your volume up fully last episode because I didn't have a mic. But I guess every Mondays you'll see me here talking about stuff from last week. The Phillies, they were good, but did lose a game 5-4 against the Nationals yesterday. We couldn't sweep them, and I'm really mad about it, being a Philly sports fan myself. It's really that because the Phillies are really good. The team that just made the World Series last year, but then dropped it to the Astros, giving the Astros, I think, their third championship. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the third championship. I don't know. It could be second or third. I don't really know. I have to do more checking and stuff because I really didn't have anything. Because I have a basketball game. Speaking of that, in a little bit, so I had to quickly get this episode up and then start editing it. All that stuff like that. But you really got to think Philly sports it's been really good. But one thing I got to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden wanting out. He hasn't been traded yet, I'm pretty sure. That might be different by the time I'm filming this episode. But I got to talk about Joel Embiid. We keep choking in the second round of the playoffs, no matter what team we play. If we had beat the Boston Celtics, I'm saying on the limb that we would have won the NBA Finals. We could beat the Nuggets. We could beat the Heat. We could beat those teams. But it's the team like the Celtics that get in our way. Now, last season, it wasn't even the Celtics. It was the Miami Heat. The season before the Celtics choked. And Joel Embiid really has to get it together. He should be working his butt off right now. I'm just saying this right now because he's not third round ready. He's not ready to advance in the playoffs. And that's something he really has to fix. He has to be ready to play these tough teams. And so is the whole Sixers team. We're probably not going to have James Harden anymore. We're not going to have him. So we're going to need to find a way to play without James Harden. And we play great. We could play. But James Harden is not going to be able to drop that 45 bomb now because we don't have him, especially in that first game against the Celtics, watching in the playoffs. And then that Game 7 was just devastating for me because of how he just kind of gave up. And, we knew. And we couldn't close it off in Philly for Game 6. We just couldn't. And it's it's on there, the topic. The 76ers really need to pull something together. Firing Doc Rivers, something I did not like because I was making a song about him. Well, not really about him. It was, you guys, somebody probably knows that's watching this. And now he's fired, and I'm a Sixers fan, so I now have to find a new coach, new rhythm, something else. For the show. But anyway, let's take a look at the 76ers. You see, Joel Embiid is a great dunker. You can see that right here. He is very good at dunking, but he cannot put it together in the we need something to pull together, Joel, because we're gonna need you every time for the playoffs. You see here, we're really gonna have to go for stuff like that. And he's really good at three-point shooting too. He's not that good at three-point shooting, but he is good. But looking back at that Game 7 against the Celtics, look at this. We kind of gave up here, and we cannot be doing that. We just cannot be doing that in the playoffs and stuff. We just cannot. Now let's get on the topic of baseball. It's kind of that. The Reds, we have to talk about them first. The Reds have been pretty good. People are calling them the Red Hot Reds. The Reds, they're good. and now they're a threat in the MLB. Win or lose, they're a threat in the MLB now, and teams are going to have to watch out because they somehow miraculously keep winning. See, boom, that's a home run right there. They keep winning. And, like, win or lose, they're still a big threat here in the MLB. They definitely have a chance at the World Series after coming off one of their worst seasons, having the worst record in the MLB. Last year, it was the year of the Phillies World Series run, which they made it. They were the worst team in the MLB, and then all of a sudden, now they are red hot and they are dashing for it. They are ready and they are all over everything here. It's really like you gotta see. It's a blue light here, or should I say? It's a green light. It's a green light. We gotta go. If the one thing that the Reds can do to win the World Series is just battle it out. If they don't give up, they have a solid chance, and that's what a lot of coaches tell me playing through. If you never give up, like a game. So we played a game in my basketball league. Going on topic of that now in the YA Summer League, we played a game, and we were playing against a kid that was 5'7", but he was still as old as us. But he was 5'7". So now this was really hard for us. We still won, even though the 5'7". So what happened was in the last seconds of the game, they hit a 3 to put themselves up 19-18. But then they celebrated too early with 3 seconds on the clock. We passed the ball quickly down the court to one of our players. I forgot his name. I'll get that for the next one. And he made a layup. We won because the clock ticked out because it wasn't a whistle, and we won the game because of that. And that's what coaches have been telling me, especially my coach was my uncle. I'll just call him Coach Jay. He tells us never to get up, get back on defense, and that's what they didn't do there. So you got to be getting back on defense there. I have no videos for that, but you got to get back on defense. It's something you have to do. Got to get back on defense. You can't just think you're winning right there because there was still 3 seconds on the clock, and we could have easily gotten the ball down the court. Now that game was a pretty good game for me, even though I didn't score anything. I was putting D on the 5'7" guy. I was putting D on him. I was pressing. I was doing my best. We had him in a double team a lot as soon as he got the ball, and he wasn't making layups like you think he was. Like he was missing them. And sure, he got the layups at once at a time, but we were putting really good D on him. Even though we had to foul him a couple times, that's all the part of it of playing basketball. You're gonna have to foul sometimes. You're gonna have to, and that's just a part of what to do on basketball. You need to be able to play hard, foul when you need to, but don't foul out. That's something you got to really recognize there. Don't foul out. Try your best not to foul out, but if you do, you do. Got next game to recover. Playoffs is a big thing, too. For us, our team is pretty good. Because that's one thing I'd like to talk about one of my teammates. Our point guard, number 11, I'm pretty sure, Boston. Boston is very good. Boston's really the reason why we're winning games. He has some good footwork, good moves, and he can shoot. He can shoot pretty good. But also one thing I like to talk about is another player, Kai. Kai fouled out our first game, which I talked about. He fouled out, but he didn't let that discourage him. He kept playing. He kept playing hard, and that's why he won. And that's just recently why. And he was knocking down some shots there. Boston wasn't the reason we were just winning. It was also I'm sweating a lot. It was not just Boston there. It was also Kai. And it was just me playing defense along with everybody else on the team. It's always a team effort in basketball. Nobody's just scoring all the points here. And one thing, now people are going to be like, Braylon, you can't be talking. You didn't score any points. So why are you talking about yourself having a good game? That the points is not everything about basketball. My coach already told me I'm probably not going to be the point guard. Not the point guard, the point guy, the guy that's scoring all the points. But what I am going to be is really good, aggressive rebounding. And with my experience working at Penwood, see here,
Penwood Center, Makai, you had 20 points tonight. How did that feel?
It felt good, teammates.
That's Makai Shillingford right there. Senior now going to college. That was his last year at Penwood. Our basketball team might not be that good. But yeah, I've worked and seen a lot of basketball. I've learned calls. I've seen a lot of sports just for this year and last year. I've seen a lot. I've seen mostly everything. I've seen game-winning shots. I've seen probably one of the most craziest games I've ever seen. And I'll post that game on here. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff there. What I've always seen, though, is teams hustling to get back on defense. Coaches always saying that. They're always saying that. Get back on defense. I hear yelling every time. You got to get back on defense. That's just a critical part of basketball. You got to be back on defense. You got to get going, and you cannot be lazy. You have to get back on defense. I'm not just saying that. You got to. It's really like that. Meanwhile, football, Kansas City Chiefs, they won the Super Bowl last year against my team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm bringing it up right now. I don't care how much people say. Like, is this seriously? What do you think? Is this seriously a hold? That's a hold right there? Now, to be fair, that wasn't going to, secure maybe a Super Bowl victory for us. But we would have had time to march down the field, and I had trust in our guys because there was still, around a minute on the clock. So, we had to throw up a Hail Mary. Jalen Rick's going to throw that far. I knew if we could have gotten the end zone, I knew we had a chance of catching. I'm sorry. I don't care, Chiefs fans, saying, oh, we still wouldn't have had a chance of catching it. We would. We would. Our receivers were just too good. And now coming off, people are saying we're downgraded. Everybody said that our record, as the Philadelphia Eagles, our record was just why. Not our record. Our schedule was too easy. Now, one thing I'm gonna say here: if this season we can pull off again a 14-3 season, or at least a season that can get us into the playoffs at a third seed or something, around the 3rd seed, 5 seed, and even if we get the 1 seed. You guys cannot be talking. All those fans from all the different things. You cannot be talking anymore. All those other sports shows. You cannot be talking anymore. Because we have a very difficult schedule. We're playing the Chiefs again. The team that we want vengeance against. And we want to see again in the Super Bowl this year. We want to see that. Imagine that. Imagine that. We see that again. The Chiefs have beat us the last couple times, but that doesn't mean our team is good, no matter what people say. We did get a little bit of a downgrade. We cannot just go in and say, hey, we had probably one of the best draft. We had the best draft in the NFL, and we're not expecting all those guys to just immediately step up and win for us. We're expecting them to play their play, though, and we still have very good players. We have Jordan Davis entering his 2nd year. We have Jalen Hurts entering his 4th year of Philadelphia Eagles, 3rd year starting. He's ready. He's been putting in the work. He's been putting in the work. All these other NFL players, they put in work, but they don't put in work as much as Jalen Hurts. He finished in MVP voting, and when I was watching the NFL award ceremony, I was kind of mad because he wasn't even on the little brackets of players that are gonna win MVP. One of them are gonna win MVP. I was just really mad. I wasn't expecting him to win it. People don't like the Eagles. I'm just gonna put it out right there, right now. People do not like the Eagles. They just don't. And that's something that Eagles fans, we accept, and that's something that Jalen Hurts processes, and he is ready for. Speaking of the Philadelphia Eagles, before we get off them, you gotta look at I always like to call DeVonta Smith. In his rookie year, he was really good. He had the same amount of receiving yards as Deshaun Jackson in his rookie year, 916. He had the same amount, so that's very good. Even though Deshaun Jackson, he's not that good right now. Deshaun Jackson was good back then, and the Eagles definitely have a shot every year into we can't just pay everybody anymore. We have a shot this year, and nobody can take that away from us. We're gonna have a shot. We had a shot last year. We failed. Now let's get on the topic of the team I hate the most, the Dallas Cowboys. Yay. The Cowboys, the problem I have with them, not just hating them. It's like every year they think that it's their year. And the Cowboys really need to get off that. It's not going to be their year every year. Now, the Cowboys, I don't think this year have a chance. I mean, they do because every other NFL team does. But, they really, they're going to make the playoffs probably. They're going to finish good in the NFC East. That's just the Cowboys for you. But I don't think they're going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. If they do make it to the Super Bowl, I don't know if they'll have them winning it. I just don't. Not being an Eagles fan, don't wanting the Cowboys to win. I'm just saying the Cowboys are probably not going to win like that. And that's just my prediction for you. And now on a team that is slowly also turning into the Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers. They think every year is their year as well. They got to change that. It's not going to be your year every year. For us, it wasn't our year every year. The Eagles, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Broncos, the Bills, every NFL team, it's not always going to be your year. It's just that. That's how football works. It's not going to be your year every year. And a lot of people predict that the Eagles will win a Super Bowl in time, but it's going to take a while. I think we really have a shot this year. And but they are kind of right because we're probably going to win it coming up because getting into those years 2027, everybody's old. Mahomes is old. Mahomes not going to be that old. He's probably still going to be playing, but Rodgers is out. Rodgers is out of the league at this time. Russell Wilson's probably retired. Joe Burrow is still going to be playing. Josh Allen's still going to be playing. Those guys are probably still going to be playing. Those big-name quarterbacks. Justin Herbert is probably going to be playing. Is probably going to be very good at that time. But there's, nobody really standing in our way. It's only, the Super Bowl because the NFC East, I don't know. The NFC just in general, not just the NFC East, just really, is the AFC stole all the good players. I'm just saying that. They stole Devontae Adams. They stole, but we still have to talk about the Vikings. Let's talk about the Vikings. Jay Jettis, Justin Jefferson, he is really good. How did that let that LSU team slide through? Burrow, Chase, and Justin Jefferson, that should have been considered a war crime. That was insane. That LSU championship team, that was insane. Just how good they were as a trio. And imagine that trio being reunited. That would be probably one of the biggest war crimes ever. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow got reunited, but Jay Jettis is on, and is on the Vikings. But I'm gonna take a theory real quick. If because we drafted that dude. We don't talk about him. Right before Jay Jettis. If we had drafted Jay Jettis, we probably wouldn't have Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown right now. Because we would have been good, probably, and wouldn't be able to get them. And, we probably would be able to get them, but we wouldn't want to get them because we were good and we didn't need all that extra cap space. So it's kind of maybe a good thing we drafted the guy we don't talk about. And, we didn't draft Jay Jettis because the Eagles could be looking really different right now. It's just that. Now let's get on the team. Well, let's stay on the 49ers for a minute. Brock Purdy. Let's talk about Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant himself. Mr. Irrelevant was irrelevant into the NFC Championship. And everybody's saying to us, the Eagles, You wouldn't have won because their quarterbacks went down like that. We probably would have still won. We were cooking. Come on. And then he's like also in the playoffs. Oh, the Giants. That was the easiest one of your life. We wanted to play the Cowboys. You know it. You know we did. But the Vikings choked the game in the wild card. You know we did want to play the Cowboys. You know that would have been probably the best game. You know the Eagles versus the Cowboys is probably the best NFL debate ever. You know it. We don't control these teams. We don't. In fact, we're in that loophole. We do the same thing. But now getting back onto the 49ers, I keep going to my team. The 49ers, Brock Purdy is pretty good, honestly. I can't lie. Looking at his college stuff, looking at on the NFL, looking at some high school stuff, he is good. We cannot lie about that. Brock Purdy is good. And now, yeah, he is good, and we can't take that away from him. That's what I'm saying. We just can't. Look at this. He said after beating the Cowboys in the NFC in the divisional round. Yeah, he said going into a hostile environment, and that's probably true. Philly is a very hostile environment. You don't want to march in there, because if you march in there as the opposing team, you're going to get booed. You're going to get all that stuff there. The Cowboys, them playing the Cowboys, you know I was sitting at my TV rooting for the 49ers, because it would have been great to play the 49ers. It would have been great. But the Cowboys also, I was rooting for the Cowboys kind of too, because it wouldn't be nice to meet them in the NFC Championship. I didn't care who won that game, because either way we have a good matchup coming. And we can finally prove ourselves this season, hopefully. Don't choke everything. But now let's get on a team that I'm gonna need some help. Broncos country, let's ride. It's not really like that. Hiring Sean Payton though, good move. The Denver Broncos have really trading for Russell Wilson. Everybody thought at the time was a good time, but then he comes into the season and chokes so bad. It's insane. Speaking of the Rams, the Chiefs might get that Super Bowl curse. We all know what happened. We all know. The Rams win the Super Bowl, and now they come into their next season, and they're like they're sucking. I can't lie, they were. Something else on the NFL, the Madden curse. Is it real or not? Do you really think the Madden curse is real? Comment, yes or no. But now we'll get on to one of our final teams for the NFL, or our final team for the NFL. We're going to get on to the topic of probably our contenders, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes are always going to be a contender. We cannot lie. We cannot lie with that. We cannot trip with that. Mahomes is the best QB in the NFL. Hands down, he is. Nobody can debate that. He is. Allen, he chokes. Burrow, he chokes. Now, Burrow did own Mahomes into that one game. It's that. The Chiefs are always going to be good until Mahomes leaves. They're always going to be some sort of contender. They couldn't keep Tyreek Hill, but they're definitely keeping Travis Kelce. Jason Kelce coming back for another season. Everybody thought Darius Slay was gone. We were like, oh, we're ready. Okay, we're going to get somebody else. Nope, he resigns. Insane with that happening. He resigned. And resigning that he will be. Darius Slay is definitely at least a top 10 corner. Because there's not really that much of big corners. Let's talk about somebody now we know. C.J. Stroud. Let's get into those young guys. C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. The first two picks of the NFL draft. Bryce Young is selected number 1 overall by the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young. I'm going to have to talk about him right now. Bryce Young is not about to just go in there and be like Patrick Mahomes and solve their problems. Sorry, Carolina Panthers fan. The only weapon you've relevantly got for him is DJ Moore. So I'm going to say that right now. Bryce Young is probably going to be good. The Carolina Panthers definitely have a chance to make the playoffs, but I just don't think they have time for the Super Bowl. Texans. Let's get into the Texans. Texans are... I don't really know any weapons for C.J. Stroud right now with the Texans. But the Texans are probably going to be good. They have a chance at the playoffs, definitely now, with C.J. Stroud. But they see it like Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud's not going to jump in there and solve all their problems right slickly there for them. I'm going to say that right now. He's probably not. Now, I could be completely wrong. This is all just Pythagorean theorem. But, yeah. And we'll move on to the final thing for today. MLB. Baseball. Who's going to win the World Series? I got my team, the Phillies. But who do you think? It's really competitive right now. Because the Phillies... We thought Trey Turner would have been just like the guarantee. We're going to be good. And Bryce Harper comes back early. But Bryce Harper is on a home run drought streak right now. We got to figure out something. But then he's coming right off of a surgery, so he's not going to be immediately good right fresh out surgery. And we just really going to need to compose that. But who's winning the World Series? Comment what team is. Comment what team's probably going to win the NBA Finals coming up. What team? We haven't seen many teams come in right now, but who do you think? And who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Sport that most people will. And what's your thinking about the 2076 FIFA World Cup? It will be played in America, Canada, and Mexico. Lincoln Financial Field being one of those locations. So I'll probably be at a World Cup game. But that will be it for today, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to watch the first episode of this, and I'll see you next Monday for sports stuff. Goodbye.